Well, here we're going to kick things off talking about Prime Day, something you're all very, very familiar with. Now, Prime Day, every time the calendar turns, it sets new records. In fact, Manish, correct me if I'm wrong. This past year in July, you did about $12 billion in sales. Is that correct?
Actually shipped over 300 million items over those 2 days.
Wow.
We were doing almost 100,000 basically orders per minute. Like that's the volume that we're talking about.
Now, how do you achieve that volume and how do you achieve that scale for something like Prime Day? I mean, the thought of it for a lot of e-commerce teams that are just trying to play catch up. Everyone uses like Prime like logistics, but very few are actually like Amazon Prime and what you can all do. How does AWS enable Prime Day?
So actually, it's really mind-boggling how much effort that goes behind it and the technology that powers that, right? So AWS actually provides the technology that powers the Prime Day, right? And if you think about it, right, the number that I talked about, 300 million shipments that you do, at any given point of time, there are over 400 million items that Amazon has available that people can order, right? So you have 300 million basically orders being placed for any one of those, right? So the amount of compute power that you need is really amazing. And I'll give you some numbers. I know, and let me break it down. Basically, just very basics, right? So if you look at the type of compute that you need servers, you need storage, you need databases, you need a bunch of other things. But if you just look at just those 2 or 3 very simple basic components, right? You need tens of thousands of servers, right? Yeah. Over those 2 days, actually, the database transactions that AWS enabled, there were 288 billion transactions that you did, right? If you look at the storage, there were 11 trillion with a T, okay, transactions that you did. Like that's big.
About Prime Day, the 3 days of Prime Day, right? But on a normal, boring, go to the office, drink some coffee, and sleep, take a couple naps, is 400 million items, right? And just a normal day. Wow. And 200,000 robots you're running, and 19,000 trailers, and 30,000 delivery vans, on just a normal day. So then Prime Day, you ramp it up to 100,000 items per minute.
Yes. So what enables that really is the power of cloud technology, right? How you can scale up from basically whatever you're doing on a day-by-day basis to almost 10x what you do on a normal day, right? You have to create an architecture which can scale that, architecture which is flexible, which is modular, so that each one of those components can take the power of the cloud, the capability to basically scale at that level, right? That's what makes it possible.
Well, Chris, when you think about Prime Day, right, and you think about what StratusGrid does, how does it inspire you and your team in seeing where you can fit in?
Yeah, it's interesting. So, I'm still from the generation where I started doing all the work on premise. And so it's one of those things where I really thought moving to the cloud, I was going to miss all the hardware, miss all the racking and stacking and all those things. And since actually getting in it, it's been like, wow, look at all these things we've enabled. Like we're going to go spin up and do a sale for one of our customers that we work with. Really big day for them is Black Friday, right? Yeah. So they need to scale up for Black Friday. I remember what that was like on premise when you needed to scale up for that. How many servers you needed to get, how much network equipment, do you have enough bandwidth, do you have all these things? So with AWS, we aren't worried about that with that customer, right? It's like we've already tested all the auto scaling. We know we can spin it up. We know it's going to spin up just automatically because it's all pre-configured and we've tested it. And they're going to pay for it while it's there. And then after Black Friday, it's going to just scale back down and it's not going to be a problem. That's really exciting to me when I get to talk to customers about that, especially when they haven't gotten to do that before, because they're used to that large capital investment just for this one day and it's a big deal. And instead it's like, no, you just turn on the clouds, it scales up and we're good to go.